Winner or loser, Apple's margins. Apple is the master of branding, but margins are getting tighter. Why? Because the cost of materials that make up each iPhone has been increasing and margins have been squeezed. While Apple achieved estimated margins of 71% for the 6 Plus in 2014, the margins fell to a low of 59% for the iPhone 8 last year. That is incredible any way you look at it. I was on the board of Gateway Computer, and we tried to operate a business on 8% gross margins. By the way, if you're wondering if and why I keep dropping the fact that I serve on corporate boards and you believe it's because I'm insecure and I hate myself, trust your instincts. With the 10S, the Cupertino firm is trying to restore these stratospheric margins. How can they do that? There's only two ways to increase your margins. The one is to increase perceived value, branding, the notion of innovation, or to decrease costs, a Dell or a Walmart, such that one of two things can happen. You can either pass on those savings to consumers and expand share, or keep prices the same and again, expand your margins. Apple has decided, after doing this for decades, that they need to start focusing on this. And how can they do this? Simple. Where are the costs? The screen, which makes up almost 30% of the cost, nearly double the next priciest component. Samsung actually produces the screens for the iPhone X, but reports indicate Apple is looking to add LG as another screen supplier. Competition is good as it can bring down the price and increase margins. A matter of fact, competition is so good, what should we do? I know, let's break up Amazon, Apple, Facebook, and Google. Canada and cannabis, likely a winner. Canada's legalization of marijuana went into effect last week, and the new industry is expected to be worth $7 billion in annual sales. This could be big business, and Canada could register up to $3 billion in incremental taxes on weed. The fact is, we just don't know what a national legal market for marijuana looks like. Early investors want a piece of this new market, but these companies may be overvalued.
The problem I have with any of these companies is none of them are compelling enough stories. And that's all you have right now. The numbers are not there. You're buying a story.
Just 4 days in, Canada dispensaries are out of stock. In our brand strategy course at NYU Stern, we teach the basics of branding, which are pretty basic. You take an average product or service, an average sugary or salty snack, an average beer, an average car, and you wrap it or surround it in brand codes that are aspirational, thereby creating irrational margins. And boom, you have one of the greatest engines of value creation in business. What is the strongest brand in the world? Is it Apple? Is it Nike? No. The strongest brand in the world, full stop, is the United States. Core to our brand code: independence, equality, rule of law, liberty, risk-taking, generosity, work, and moral leadership. What is core to this moral leadership? Investment over the long term, that we are, in fact, the good guys. Suspending arms sales to Saudi Arabia, imposing sanctions, and freezing Saudi assets may or may not be the right thing to do. Now, scratch that. It's the right thing to do. However, trading equity in the world's strongest brand for short-term profits is not only the wrong thing to do, it's just plain stupid. And finally, to end on a high note, an email from one of our dozens and dozens of fans in Portugal. Carolina Santos has asked us to give a shout out to her friend Tiago Bilbao. By the way, Tiago, did your parents think they were having a boy or birthing a Game of Thrones hero? What an awesome name. Your birthday present? 1 second of uninterrupted eye contact. And 2, some legendary gangster advice. If you are ever in a situation where you're uncomfortable or feeling secure, you do the following, boss. You look at the Northern Star and then you turn and say, "Soy Tiago." Boom! Problem solved. Thanks for your time. Have a great week. Thanks for your time. Have a great week. Where did I get that? We'll see you next week.
Say it.